welcome to the Lifestyle First podcast. My name is Dr. Alka Patel. I am your host and I'm here discussing lifestyle medicine and making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. One question, 2 research reviews and 3 actionable health tips in each Light Bite weekly episode, all centered around the Lifestyle First method, your blueprint for the 10 key roots of optimal health and happiness. This is series 2, episode 10, and the theme in the Lifestyle First method we'll be exploring today is emotions. Life is filled with emotions, and the inconvenient truth is that we struggle with so many of our emotions. And sometimes we just didn't feel them at all, feeling sad, angry, rejected, guilty, not emotions we want to experience. But life is meant to be peppered with the full range of human experience, and unfortunately, our evolutionary growth has meant that we naturally amplify the emotions of psychological pain, and we struggle with this. Back in our caveman days, we had to be on high alert, looking out for danger to avoid being eaten by the lions. And so our thoughts and feelings have evolved to protect us and warn us of anything that could harm or hurt us. But of course now there's much less threat of a lion, but more psychological threats that our mind keeps us alerted to. The one question I'll be answering today is there a way to stop struggling with difficult emotions? And to answer this, the 2 sources of information I've been looking at are 2 books, Act Made Simple by Russ Harris and The Essential Guide to Act by Stephen Hayes, both founders of ACT Therapy and very, very well known in the field. And these are excellent resources which I've also referred to previously. So ACT stands for Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. It's a very transformative way of reducing the impact and influence of painful thoughts and feelings, that's the acceptance part, whilst simultaneously taking action to build a life that's rich and full and meaningful. That's the commitment part. So, here are 2 basic principles. Principle number 1, you cannot control your thoughts and feelings. So try it now. If I asked you not to think about pink elephants for the next 60 seconds, can you do this? Absolutely not. All you're thinking about now is pink elephants. And principle number 2, you can control how you react to your thoughts and feelings. So keep those principles at the front of mind. Now it's easy, isn't it, to get hooked in and sucked in by your thoughts in such a way that they start to dominate your actions and dominate your awareness. So if you feel nervous about socialising because you think you never have anything to contribute, then you'll find yourself saying no to any social invitations. Your thoughts will change your actions. Or if you're worried about someone in your family and you get so caught up in the worry that you lose focus on doing other things that you need to do. So when you're hooked by your thoughts and feelings, you either go into automatic mode and you act out your thoughts, or you go into avoidance mode and you try and avoid or get rid of those difficult thoughts and feelings. And then what dominates your actions and awareness is the act of trying to avoid or get rid of thoughts, and that starts taking over. So to stop struggling with difficult emotions, the trick is to not let them dominate you and to not try and get rid of them either. Now, one way to do this is to use the 3 N's: notice, name, and neutralize. So the first N is to notice your thoughts. What are you thinking? What's popping up? The second N is to name the thought. So currently at the time of COVID-19, many of us are finding ourselves in a state of anticipatory anxiety, worrying about the future, thinking about all the what ifs. So if you start getting hooked into these thoughts, notice the thought and name it. Say to yourself, I'm predicting the worst. Then say, I'm having the thought that I'm predicting the worst. And then say, I'm noticing that I'm having the thought that I'm predicting the worst. This noticing and naming allows you to have a degree of separation from your thought and to become less entwined in it, and to realize that you are not your thought. You don't have to act on it or obey it. And the third N is neutralizing. And the simplest way to do this is to think of your thoughts in terms of workability. So if I act on this thought, let it dictate what I do, dwell on it, hold on to it tightly, keep thinking about it. Will it take me towards doing what I really want, being who I want to be, and living the life I want to live? And if it's a thought that's not letting you be who you want to be, then just let it go. And we've talked about values and life's purpose in previous episodes 102 and 202, so just flick back and re-listen to those as well. So yes, the way to stop struggling with difficult emotions is to use the 3 N's: notice, name, and neutralize. And I just want to embed this a little bit more. Why not letting yourself get hooked into difficult thoughts and feelings is so important. So let's just try a couple of things together. So imagine that out there in front of you is everything that really matters to you, everything that makes your life meaningful. People, places, things you like to do, people you want to be with. And also out there, all the tasks you need to do just to make life work. Shopping, cooking, cleaning, tax returns. Now imagine your hands are all your difficult thoughts and feelings, your problems, your challenges, and you're holding them as tightly as you can, hands together, keeping them close to you, right up in front of your mind. Do this with me. What happens? Well, 3 things happen. What happens is that first of all, you're disconnected from everything else out there, all the things that matter to you. You can't see past your thoughts and feelings. Secondly, you can't do any of the things that make your life work, like cooking or writing an email. Your hands are tied. And thirdly, you can't focus on anything else, can't give anything else your full attention because you're paying attention just here. So getting hooked by your thoughts means you're missing out, you're disconnected, and you can't focus on what you need to do. But as you unhook from those thoughts and feelings, just let your hands drop. Notice what happens. You're back in the room. You can move freely, do what you need to do, connect with people that matter. But notice that your thoughts and feelings haven't disappeared. Your hands are still there. We haven't got rid of them. We're just not holding them tightly. We're not letting them block our view of the world and what we want to do in it. Powerful stuff, right? And just one final demonstration then to show how avoiding difficult emotions and trying to get rid of them doesn't help. Now, imagine holding a piece of paper with all your difficult thoughts and emotions on it. Just pause the podcast to get a piece of paper if you need to. Now, hold it at the bottom corners and push that piece of paper away. Stretch out your elbows as far away as you can from you. Push away all those difficult feelings you just wish you didn't have. And notice what's happening. Are your arms starting to ache? Imagine pushing away your thoughts all day. How exhausting is this? And notice also how it stops you doing all the other things that you want to do. You're not free to do anything that makes life work, like paying the bills or cleaning the kitchen, and you can't do anything that gives life meaning, like seeing family. So now just drop the piece of paper. Let it float and let it land. See how much freer you are. You can move about, interact with it, whoever's in front of you, do the things you want to do. But notice you haven't got rid of the piece of paper, it's still there. You're just not trying to get rid of your thoughts and feelings. You're not trying to squash up the paper and throw it in the bin. You're just letting it drop and letting it be. So, is there a way to stop struggling with difficult emotions? Absolutely yes, by not getting hooked in by them, by not trying to get rid of them either. And the 3 N's, well, that's a good place to start. And I will, in future episodes, be giving you lots more techniques and tips for how to reduce emotional struggles. So do stay tuned. So now, here are your 3 health hacks, your 3 activating actions, your lifestyle first prescription. And you know this is my favourite part of the podcast because it takes us from theory to practice, from knowing to doing. And it's great to be able to give you tools for thought and tips for action that really can make a significant difference to your health and happiness. So, number 1, 3 N's. Notice, name, and neutralize. It can take practice, and like any new skill, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So pick a day to focus on your thoughts. Notice as many of your normal day-to-day thoughts as you can, not just the challenging, difficult thoughts, but others too. And if you can notice and name day-to-day thoughts, it becomes easier to do this when more difficult thoughts and feelings appear. Now we have over 30 or 50,000 thoughts a day, so you're certainly not going to be focusing on all of those, but just pick a day to notice. And as you start doing this, let noticing and naming infiltrate your everyday. Just increase your awareness of yourself. Number 2, workability. This is a concept I want you to expand on. So any difficult thoughts and feelings you have this week, ask yourself, if I let that feeling dominate what I do and let it hook me, where does it take me? Towards or away from the life I want? So on a piece of paper, just create a simple table with 3 columns. First column, thoughts and feelings. Second column, takes me away from the life I want. Third column, takes me towards the life I want. And as you have a thought that you notice and are able to focus on, write it down and tick either away or toward. And this really will help you understand how your thoughts affect your actions and your awareness. And number 3, the story. If the story of all these difficult feelings was put into a book, what would the title of your book be? The something something story, the worry story, the pessimism story. So another way to name and notice a thought and not get hooked by it is to just think of it as being part of that story. So when that difficult thought or feeling appears, just say, there's that worry story again. And we'll be getting through more of these in future episodes, but for now, that concludes today's episode. Making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3, with the backing of information and evidence from the field of lifestyle medicine. I really hope this has inspired you to take action. Please don't forget to subscribe and share, because the more you share, the more you too are instrumental in spreading messages of health that matter. And of course, please do leave me comments, ratings, and a review so that I can continue to provide you with credible, motivating, thought-stimulating, and practical information that lets you shape your health and be the author of your own health story. And you can connect with me on all the usual social media channels at Dr. Alka Patel UK, and just use the hashtag the Lifestyle First Podcast or hashtag TLFP so that I can easily connect with you. And if you want to know more and access show notes and free resources, then just head on over to my website, www.dralkapatel.com. I look forward to welcoming you back next week.